when we first met as a task force, within a few minutes, it became somewhat obvious that there's some ambiguity in relation to what exactly do we mean in terms of information literacy or technology literacy, whichever term we might want to use. So one of our first goals was to provide some framework for moving forward. So to that end, some members of the task force went to look at peer and aspirant schools to see what kinds of things were going on there. And other members looked at the academic literature and other industry literature. And then we came back together as a group and discussed what we had found. In terms of peer and aspirant schools, we found that there really wasn't a whole lot going on there, at least from our initial review. But we found some interesting ideas from the literature. And after a lot of discussion, we came up with thinking of it as a three-prong idea of media, information, and communication literacy. So we came with the acronym MICLE, M-I-C-L, MICLE. And then based on that, we went and looked through the schools again, both the peer and aspirant schools, in a little bit more detail, and with this framework in mind. Now, as we went through looking at these schools, we still didn't find much more than we had actually found on our first pass-through. We found that there were 3 schools that dealt with this idea in some part through classes similar to what we might have in our CS 110. But there were some differences. Most of them would have it be set up that you would take a proficiency exam and you would take the course if you did not successfully pass the proficiency exam. And these courses, if you did have to take them, were treated as a remedial course, pass-fail, not for credit, towards graduation, and so on. Now, we did also find 2 other schools that seemed to cover this to at least some degree in a freshman seminar type course. One of them, though, the seminar is only a 1-hour course, so we wouldn't imagine that the coverage would be in great depth. And the other, while it was actually spread over 2 seminar courses for a total of 6 credit hours, it was unclear how much of that would really, of these courses would fall under the information or technology type literacy or media literacy as well. So we were a little surprised about that. And then we also looked at what kind of offerings there might be outside of required core. For example, classes that you might be able to take to satisfy a core requirement, but that you would have other options that maybe would not fall under the MICLE framework. And we did find that there were approximately 5 of our peer aspirant schools that had courses available to satisfy the core, but that all students would not necessarily have to take. It might be a choice among 5 other choices or 10 other choices that would fall under the MICLE umbrella that would satisfy a core. Now, beyond that, we also just, even though it's not really directly within our purview of core, we also paid attention to other situational factors that might affect this. The idea being that you'd have to have the infrastructure available for something like this to succeed. And so the most notable standout was Loris, that is a laptop campus. They provide laptops to all of their students every 2 years with software support and all of that. And in addition, they do require an electronic portfolio that be completed. It's going to end up being about halfway through their program of study. So they provide a strong infrastructure with which to work on this. Other schools will mention the electronic teaching aids and things like that, but that could be just having a course management system in place. Some schools seem to do a pretty good job of having software, etc., available to students in a very user-friendly interface and so on. Uh, but we did take a little quick look at that just because we felt it was important to at least keep in mind that anything that we're going to do in this area, we would have to make sure that we have the infrastructure there to support our success in this area. So that's what we have found so far. We think that there are lots of exciting opportunities that we might find, and so we look forward to working over the summer and next fall to develop some ideas. Thank you.